Topping our news this morning, the Effingham County Sheriff's Office continues its investigation into how two men ended up in the hospital with stab wounds. Deputies say around 8:30 yesterday morning, they responded to Highway 17 near Blue Jay Road. An Effingham County Sheriff's Office spokesperson says the initial 911 call was made by a bystander and that two people were involved in an altercation and transported to a nearby hospital with stab wounds. Witnesses on scene and posts on social media suggest a car or possibly a third person may also have been involved. However, investigators tell us that information has not been confirmed, but they are looking into it.
That information was out on Facebook, so there is a truck that is on the side of the road right now. We're still trying to pinpoint how that connects to either one of the victims or both the victims. We still don't know 100% sure how that truck relates to the situation, but there is a truck here on scene that is on the side of the road.
Officials confirm the investigation is ongoing. Of course, we'll keep you updated both on air and online as new information becomes available. In the meantime, if you have any information that can help in this case, call the Effingham County Sheriff's Office at number 912-754-3449. Again, 912-754-3449. Making headlines this morning, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continues testifying before Congress on worldwide threats to the United States, including the war with Iran. As our Washington correspondent explains, the violence overseas is showing no signs of slowing down.
Is it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers have lots of questions about Iran for the country's top intelligence officials.
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard wouldn't divulge conversations she had with the president.
Were you asked to brief on whether Iran would close the Strait of Hormuz?
While CIA Director John Ratcliffe argued if the U.S. hadn't intervened, Iran would have eventually developed missiles that could threaten Europe and the U.S.
If left unimpeded, yes, Senator, they would have the ability to range missiles to the continental U.S.
As the war continues, Iran is firing off missiles in the Middle East, the latest hitting Qatar in retaliation for an Israeli strike on Iran's massive South Pars natural gas field. President Trump on social media vowed Israel would make no more attacks on the valuable gas field, but he wrote if Iran continued attacking Qatar, the U.S. will massively blow it up.
Also happening on Capitol Hill today, the Senate Homeland Security Committee is considering the nomination of Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to lead DHS. Mullen testified before them yesterday in a fiery hearing where he faced criticism from members of both parties in Washington. Meanwhile, controversy is brewing on Tybee Island. City leaders have rejected a plan to protect historic areas. Now the mayor says they're looking for another way forward. Last week, council voted against designating Fort Screven and the North Campbell neighborhood as a historic district. It's part of a plan developed more than 2 years ago by the Tybee Historic Preservation Commission. The proposal would have required property owners to get approval for exterior changes. The district includes 124 historic and 75 non-historic properties. Tybee Mayor Brian West says the vote does not put historic structures at risk of demolition.
To get the designation of it being a historic district, you have to include everything. So the people that are in those homes would have to trust that the commission is going to let them do what they want with their own property.
Mayor West says the next step is for city staff to explore alternatives, including a conservation district or overlay that could still offer protection.